Alright, quick update to the Kinetic Blast Wander Elementals build. It got a lot more attention than I thought. A lot of people asked for an update, so throwing together a little bit better POB, more endgame POB, less scuffed overall. So this one's only for endgame. You don't look at anything else. In fact, I'm just gonna delete the rest of this by the time I post the video, but purely for endgame, like full level 100, what you should do once you get good enough gear from the first starter POB. First, I've updated all of the gear with everything you should aim for pretty much. So the rares, you're basically just maxing out the like normal stats you get. That was in the beginner gear. I've included res and whatnot. You want to get suppress capped, res capped obviously. On your wand, you want to get Try Ellie, attack speed, crit chance, those are the main important ones. You're obviously probably not going to get 61 here, but that's what you are aiming for. Spell damage on the shield with some block chance. Glitch circlet, go for big energy shield. Still ideally get some life on it though, but it's really good with this node right here. Then Yoke of Suffering gives big damage because you're applying all ailments, so 30% increased damage, but this increased damage is actually kind of like a more multiplier because it's not just like 30% spell damage, it is specifically the damage the enemy takes. Kind of hard to understand if you don't know the wording, but the 10% increased damage is a lot better than it sounds. Taming, big damage. Again, we're applying all 3 elements here. Amethyst ring. You can also go for Nimbus if you're like not broke. And then, or I guess if you're rich. And then flat damage, life, res, attack damage, LA damage attacks. Headhunter is massive on this. You can probably go for Headhunter or Mage Blood. I mean, Mage Blood still usable if you're an RMT and you're wondering if it's usable. Yes, it is usable. Progenesis. Big tanky, big band-aid thing. This build is like kind of glass cannon, and I'll get to the point of how to kind of fix that if you don't want to be glass cannon. For the grafts, we got Eshcraft. This one gives you Jolt, which is like massive damage multiplier. You can see massive. I have the configuration because it doesn't work in POB yet, so I had to type it in myself. But it also makes you squishier, but not that bad. Huge damage. The other one I have, this one should be Heart of Ash, or Heart of Flame, whatever it's called. The one that's like Molten Shell, basically. Good defense. Great defense. And you don't need armor. And it is also OP because it stacks with your other guard skills. I have Steel Skin. If you're lacking gem space, you can get rid of this. It's not, I mean, it's like, whatever, I mean, kind of helpful, not super important. And then it will stack with it, really good. Storm Shroud here, we're getting ailment immune. The ailment immunity comes from this Foulborn Ancestral Vision, which also caps our suppress, and then it grants chance to suppress, also apply to avoid ailments. Then on the boots, we got 47 chance to avoid shocked, so we have all ailments avoided, which is a big tanky boon. Elegant Hubris here, this is a pretty big change. You get Elegant Hubris here. And use Supreme Oncitation, you don't have to worry about attributes anymore. And then you can also find one with spell damage. Look up Timeless Jewel Calculator on Google to figure out which jewel to use. You can also probably just type in this number and get it. I don't know the price. Not going to be efficient. You're going to want to use a calculator. Probably a video on that somewhere. And then to save more passive points, we are using a... Where'd I put it? I guess it doesn't matter. Impossible Escape. Doesn't matter what jewel slot you put it in. Except, I think it might not work in a cluster jewel. I don't know. When I put in cluster jewel in POB, it doesn't work, so. Anyways, that allows you to not click these travel nodes that are useless. Big damage. Big damage. Okay. You can also get one with, like, this node as well. So... in this node, so ideally you get all 5 of these nodes are good, but might be expensive. Okay. Yeah, that's about it. GG. Good luck. Wait, no. One last thing, and perhaps the most important. Full swap late game options. So, if you want a more... I don't even know how to explain it. Less glass cannon and more... Yeah, I don't know. More well-rounded, perhaps. Because this is still pretty based off the League Start version. It's no crazy reroll. Like, it's more than good enough for everything or whatever, but you might want to look into these options. Full energy shield, CI version, big tanky, that's big tank right there. And then you might also go like a max block setup with Aegis and like go armor and stuff. No recommendation to follow. Herald Stacker, Lycia Bloodline, again no recommendation, but this is probably very good and you'll probably go like a full Fizz Wand instead of the elemental damage there. That should be very good. I haven't seen any like creators really do it yet, but should be very solid. Then Jung's KB Clustering Necromancer swap. If you want like something that's an actual guide, this is probably the one you go. You're just gonna have to swap Ascendancies. I mean, it sounds like a big deal, not really a huge deal. It's like not that much of your time. Although it will be a little bit of a different setup of KB clustering and mana stacking, so that part is pretty different. But this is probably the most straightforward one in terms of getting an actual guide for it. But if you're new, Jung Run build's kind of hard, so. And then if you want better single target worse clear, you can try Kinetic Fusillade. It's still good clear because you'll go Heralds with this. You don't have to. I was actually playing without Heralds. It's fine. It's definitely way worse than Kinetic Blast without Heralds, but overall, it's more difficult to set up. It is way more single target damage. Like, I think there's crazy potential here. You can check out these guys on YouTube. I think they all have videos. I don't know if they're guides or not. I didn't actually watch them. But there's a push in the right direction. If you can afford Nimbus, use it. Okay, now that is actually it.